So I think we will start. A lot of people are stuck in the entrance because they don't know where to go. But hopefully they will make it on time. So first of all, thank you so much for the panelists to be here, all the important time you've spent to come all the way here and be a part of this discussion. It's quite an intense discussion. A lot of people have registered, a lot of people want to come. The audience, thank you so much for coming as well, leaving all your lab stuff, taking care of them besides, and then coming here for hopefully a lot of opinions that we can get from your side. Although the panel is there here, we will have questions from you guys. If you have anything, feel free, raise your hand, and we'll try and figure out, we'll try and see if we can catch you during the event. So I'll start by first introducing the people in the panel. So we start. I would also like to mention that Pauli, who is also a panel, couldn't make it. He's sick, but we'll try and manage without. In any case, not more people can fit in this panel. We'll start with from the right, Erja Heikkinen. She's the head of science policy team from the Ministry of Education and Culture. So a lot of things that we're going to talk about cannot happen without the involvement of the ministry. They decide a lot. Tommi Mäkelä, who is the director of Helsinki Institute of Life Science at the University of Helsinki. Maija Urponen, she's the head of coordination of doctoral education at the University of Helsinki. Sarah Butcher, she's a professor at the Faculty of Biological and Environmental Sciences at the University of Helsinki. Ritva Danu, she's the director of research services from the University of Helsinki. And we have Raimo Tuominen. Sorry, you're the head of division of Pharmacology and Pharmacotherapy from the University of Helsinki. Hannu Sariola, you're the director of Doctoral School in Health Sciences from the Helsinki University. We have Iiris Hovatta, who's the chair of Doctoral Program, Brain and Mind, University of Helsinki. And we have Ilkka Kilpeläinen, who is the chair of Doctoral Program in Chemistry and Molecular Sciences. All these people, of course, have more than one roles. We put this role currently because it relates the best to this discussion. So they have their own groups. They have had a lot of other experiences, but we won't go into that right now. Before we start the whole session, I would like to give a small intro to this whole discussion. Firstly, by introducing the Biotech Club, who we are. We are a group of students, mostly PhD students, some postdocs as well. We help the students gain access to the industry side. So if you want to find jobs, you want to find opportunities, not only in the academics, not only in the industry, but also in institutes where they have collaborations with the industries. And also organizations which are not purely academic, but are working somewhat in the middle. So this discussion is definitely not a part of our normal agenda, but after talking to a lot of people, we found out that this is something that we would like to take it up and discuss with people in a common platform like this. The graduation of the PhD student depends on factors that might not be directly related to personal skills and efforts. A student working on his or her research for an expected PhD research for 4 years might still not graduate because of a system mostly based on publications, which not every student may get in the time allocated. The funding of the research in many cases would end, but the research not. So is the current environment for PhD students in Helsinki, to be very frank, in the whole of Finland, a hostile situation? I would start off, instead of just randomly blurting out comments, I would start off with a little bit of statistics. So, sorry for the panelists, but yeah. So this is courtesy DS Health School, University of Helsinki. The first topic that we will pick up is the long graduation times. when you talk to people on the corridor, it's quite evident that people are taking long time to graduate in the University of Helsinki and other universities within Finland. This is just one snapshot of what we can predict or what we can see is happening. So you have the years on the bottom, and every spot, every red dot that you see on the screen is one PhD dissertation. This was a survey conducted by the DS Health School. If the expected time, which is recommended by the university, it's not a rule yet, it's just a recommendation of 4 years PhD completion, it's definitely not being followed. People are completing PhDs in 4 years, which represents around, and if we still increase it a bit to 4.5 years, it is still around 33% of the whole population. Let's extend it a bit more. Let's say that PhD takes maybe 5 years, 5.5 years. It still covers 60%. 40% is still taking 6 years and beyond. In many cases, people are taking 14 years, and these are quite recent numbers. So do we have a problem then in our university, in our system, in our education, which is causing this to happen? Now we are raising this question because definitely we compare ourselves with the global trends. The global trends are definitely not this, but to give you also a comparison of what's happening in other universities, we also got a little bit of data from one university. Well, we couldn't get too much of data, of course, but we went to Aarhus University. It's a Danish university. The Faculty of Health Sciences here was very kind enough to give us this data, share this with us, and these are their graduation rates. I don't have a stratified dot by dot of how many students are there, or how many students this covers, but around 3.5 to 3 is the years that is taken for people to graduate in health sciences. Now let's see, people in the audience here are also from non-health sciences background. To give them a heads up, this is the non-health science, so it's like the arts faculty. It's not that the arts faculty are taking more or less time, but it's still consistent in the arts faculty, which is not health sciences. I've also put a small comment, actually they have put a small comment which they wanted to share with us, which we also wanted to share with people here. The figures here do not include one person who took 8 years to complete a PhD, and one person who took 11 years to finish the PhD after enrollment. So the net time, this is excluding leaves. So the net time actually used up for getting the PhD done. This is an exception for them, which doesn't look like an exception in our case. It's somewhat like a norm. Is this what we want? Is this how the university plans itself to position in the future? This is something from the Ministry of Education in Finland. This is relating to the average age of people graduating from PhD. Now this can be a bit biased depending on the field and everything. But again, when you compare this with other universities, the age is not this high. You have different categories here on the left, different years on the right. The average age is around 35, and it is a bit skewed because of some faculties which are taking more time. Why are they taking more time? Why are we overall taking more time? That's what we are here to discuss, to understand, and should we improve these numbers? Is this an asset or an embarrassment to the university, or something that we can change, help the university change, make discussions of these kinds to hopefully, so this is like the first word hitting the wall. We hope discussions more of this kind happen so that we are able to improve the situation of the university. So we'll start now with the panel, with discussing the major reasons that we think could be causing the long graduation times. We have some points and suggestions here, but we'll start from the left here, Ilkka. If you have points from the panel, you can say. If you don't have points from the panel, you can remain silent. silent on that issue and we'll move on.
Thank you, Kumara. First of all, I have to excuse you guys here because I have to leave to give a presentation at 13:30. The time was given to me, so I had no chance to escape that. But once we are talking about graduation times, I mean, this varies a lot in Europe because, for example, in certain countries like UK, I think the practice is that after 4 years you make your PhD in chemistry at least. And that's it. I mean, not dependent on whether you have publications or anything. But on the other hand, there's also a system that if you, for example, fail one exam, like twice, you can be dropped out of the university. So there are sides and sides. And also once you compare in between countries, I'm now talking about chemistry because I know that much better, is that, for example, in Germany, I mean, you are not a chemist unless you're not a PhD. So actually, you cannot apply for a chemist job if you are not PhD. So there are big differences in this, and in that way, for example, the chemistry PhD here means really a science degree in that you have, and you have to remember that only maybe 10–15% of the masters graduate actually as a PhDs. And of course, I mean, the requirements for making PhD are here quite hard. I mean, practice has been for publication, at least with certain names first and things like that. And in addition to that, 60 points from courses. And that is something which is actually changing now, because the requirement for the courses is dropping, but also, for example, in the natural science, there has been already practice has been that you can actually make a PhD with 3 publications. But actually, this is not the whole truth, because there's also an option to make a monograph. That is not utilized, but that could be one thing which can be utilized. And it is done every now and then when the work is natured so that you cannot really get the publications. So that's what the Undefined PhD